Hello, folks. I'm Detroit Miracle. Yes, and indeed. Right now, I am here to have more cool comic book slash film slash story discussion fun. This such topic will be about legendary gospel music pioneer Lucille Pope. Yes, Lucille Pope would be another great gospel legendary singer that built an illustrious career. I will also be comparing power levels for Lucille Pope in terms of her skill sets, musical talents, and abilities, and immense popularity and fame. Okay, like many other great legendary singers, Lucille Pope had humble beginnings as well. It is said she was born to a sharecropping family who were also highly musically inclined. Her father and his brother belonged to a group. They didn't say if the group was gospel, R&B, pop, blues, jazz, but her father was a part of a singing group, so she must have watched him rehearse and sing numerous times. And of course, a skilled learner and attentive mind would pay attention and try to learn as much as they possibly can. So did Lucille. She watched her father, uncle, and of course, she sang in the fields that she worked. They were also a sharecropping family, including, yes, Lucille, the popular gospel pioneer. Initially, she did sharecropping work in the fields. When you mention sharecropping work, people think about slavery times when slaves were picking cotton and crops and things like that. Yes, it was one of those type of professions, but at that time they got paid for sharecropping because slavery was abolished, of course. So she became a self-taught great singer, and of course she sung in churches earlier on in her life. She was so good that she decided to form her own group, but it was a male quartet group where she sang lead in that group. Usually females don't sing in male quartet groups, but she was a standout individual and a standard of excellence. So she became their lead singer. I believe the group consisted of two of her brothers, a brother-in-law, and maybe somebody else, or she made up the four to be the quartet leader of the group. Of course, I think it's a four-member team in quartets. So she formed this group with her family, and they sung around the church circuits. They didn't intend on going full-on professional with the group, but when the right people heard them sing, they were invited on a national platform to sing so that millions would hear their work, and then they got invited on to that such platform, and then the rest was history. They blew up, and then they got a record deal, and then they kept cranking out album after album after album, which sold a lot of money, of course, because if you're not going to keep releasing albums if they don't sell. So Lucille and her quartet toured around. They became reasonably famous, but not super, super successful as far as famous, but they did very well, of course. And at the same time, Lucille managed to write materials for her own solo projects. While being in the group and after the group, she would release solo songs, independent songs, but she wasn't releasing full albums as a soloist. But she released so many singles for decades that they accumulated into albums eventually. And of course, she had a lot of albums at the end of her career. With her group, the Pearly Gates, they created maybe 6 albums. Some of them might have been live. Some of them were certainly studio. Okay, now I'm going to do the power levels comparables for the great artist called Lucille. Okay, she's an immensely powerful songwriter that had to have contributed to dozens upon dozens of hits, songs that she wrote for herself as well as her group. She's a powerful, stellar performer that connects to her audiences while she's on stage. And she appears as such a spiritual blessing to them all because her music is deeply felt and great. So she's known to have done a lot of shows with her group, and she's done some collaboration work too. Okay, let me know how you feel about the illustrious Lucille Pope.